stuff on his phone. It's the race. A good break. It's what you get now. In there, you got. We got you. Thank you. You got one?
Yeah, no, got a friend of you. You got a friend of you. Got to be ready, everybody. Oh, hell, no.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome you all to the Weldon City Schools regular board meeting. First we'll start off by repeating or saying together our mission statement. Okay, we can read it in unison. The mission of the Weldon City School District is to create and maintain a highly effective educational system in which every student receives the highest quality education. School employees and parents work together to prepare students to become caring, competent, and responsible citizens who value education as a lifelong process. Thank you. Now I need for us to review the agenda, and I need someone to make a motion to approve tonight's agenda. The motion?
Make a motion to approve it.
Okay, it's been motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's been motion and properly second to approve the agenda for tonight. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, and the agenda has been approved. I'm sorry. Yes, he is on. And we did just approve the agenda, but I do have something that I need to add on.
So under, 7A, I need to add a number 3, and that is the district work week. For number 3,
The what?
District what?
Under section A,
work week, for 7A,
7A.
Number 3.
Number 3. Last number 3. You said it's district work week?
yes, sir. Now, I need a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been motion and properly second to approve the, amended agenda. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, and the agenda has been approved. Amended agenda. Okay, the next item on the agenda is open session approval of minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes? From what date? All right, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been motion properly second to approve June, meeting minutes. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, and the minutes have been approved from June. Next item is gonna be recognition, and the first, we have State Representative Rodney Peters to come forward.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Madam Chair, Madam Superintendent, Mrs. Harrison, Mr. Bennett, Mrs. Bird Robinson, Mr. Jenkins, Mr. Davis, Clerk Jenkins, everybody else who is here tonight. I'm here to recognize a young man, school, community, and family. Because everybody, I feel like when one person that represents all of us wins, we all win.
Right.
And I know from what I've read, from talking to Coach, that this is a young man who's worked extremely hard. You don't become a champion or win against other people in a state championship race
That's right.
without a lot of dedication and commitment. So, Mr. Burgess, you and your family, if y'all would join me up here, Coach Man, you as well. I want to read all of this. It's not long, y'all, but I just want to read this real quick. Congratulations for giving. I want to told you, frame it, put it somewhere. And I told him, you know, I ran track when I was in high school, when I was a junior, but I only did it to get out of school. Yeah, I wasn't any good. Yeah, I did it to get out of class. Y'all was supposed to laugh. All right, resolution honoring Donald Burgess, champion 110-meter hurdles, North Carolina 1A state championship. Whereas Donald Burgess, a rising senior at Weldon STEM High School Career Academies and Weldon City Schools, claimed first place in the 110-meter hurdles at the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 1A state championship meet held on May 16th, 2025 at Marcus T. Johnson Track at North Carolina A&T State University in Greensboro. Mr. Burgess improved on his time of 14.74 seconds in Heat 1 of the preliminary round by registering a time of 14.49 seconds in the finals to claim the gold medal. Mr. Burgess was the 2024 Male Athlete Runner of the Year in the Roanoke Athletic Conference and the 2025 Conference Male Athlete of the Year in track and field. Mr. Burgess's title is the second track and field state championship in the past 6 years for Weldon City Schools and the first state title for Weldon STEM High School Career Academies in over 30 years in a track event. Despite not having the facilities and equipment his opponents possessed to prepare for the competition, Donald, through diligent training before and after school, emerged victorious, standing as a shining example of the resilience, dedication, and potential of student athletes. With athletic competition playing such an important role in the total education of our young people, I'm extremely pleased to pay tribute to Donald Burgess on an exemplary season and achievement, as he serves as an immense source of pride for his family, his coaches, his school, and community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, as a member of the North Carolina House of Representatives, do hereby honor Donald Burgess on winning first place in the 110-meter hurdles at the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 1A State Championship and extend best wishes in your future academic and athletic endeavors.
All right.
Congratulations again. Madam Chair. Man, can you stand over there?
Oh, yeah, you can. I'm rolling.
Smile. I'm doing well.
All right.
Congratulations.
I gotta get the HC.
All right. I really appreciate it. Good to see you. Congratulations, sir.
Take care.
All right.
Everybody have a proud day.
What?
Thank you all so much. Great job, Mr. Burgess and Coach, Manning. All right, the next item on the agenda is Ms. Robin Davis for FBLA. Come on down.
All right.
Everybody.
And so while we have congratulations in order, we want to congratulate Takira Ivy. Takira, placed second in supply chain management at the state FBLA competition. And so she was able to go on to the national FBLA competition in Anaheim, California. Takira, this is her second time making it to nationals. So she went to Chicago, Illinois, maybe, 3 years ago.
Right.
So we just want to make sure that we recognize her as well. So I have a certificate that reads Future Business Leaders of America, Certificate of Achievement. This certificate is proudly presented to Takira Ivy in recognition of her commitment to excellence, her exceptional leadership, dedication, and achievement in business education, which led to her qualification for the FBLA National Leadership Conference. Her advisor is Mr. Burton, who is joining us today. So, congratulations, Takira.
Yeah.
And we also have her mom here, who is very dedicated, so
No,
she,
right.
wherever we go, she's with us.
All right. One of them all.
Come on, Miss Payne. All right. Great. Great.
Love it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Ivy.
All right. Already done. Good thing.
All right, now that we've gotten all of our recognitions out of the way today, we will move right on to public forum. Superintendent Boone, do we have anyone here for public forum? No, okay. All right, the next item on the agenda is reports, and we will get a report from our superintendent, Dr. Tammy Boone.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Let me start my superintendent's report by once again saying thank you to Weldon City Schools Board of Education and all stakeholders who are a part of this community for the opportunity to serve as your superintendent. And by way of reports, I will say that these have been some busy days. We don't work on Friday generally, but as superintendent, you work about 7 days a week. 24 hours a day. So there have been no days off, and today is the 24th. But within those 24 days, we have had departmental meetings, individual departmental meetings, where I've met with all of the directors here at the central office level and had discussion about what their job duties entail and just different things moving forward into the 25-26 school year. Things of accountability nature and where we go from here, and just trying to look forward in terms of getting it done to make sure that we're all on the same page. In addition to that, we had our new construction going on. So I've been out to the construction site a couple of times. One time I went, I got trapped in the middle of the highway, so I didn't realize that the big truck was not going to move. I thought maybe it was going to move. So, but nonetheless, I just wanted to see the update where we were at that point, which hadn't changed much from the last time we were there. But if you've not had an opportunity to see the new construction, then you should take a look at it. It is coming up every day and looking very good. We did have our beginning teacher and new teacher orientation this week, which turned out very nicely. We are gearing up now for our administrative retreat, which will begin on next Monday, July 28th, 29th, and July 30th. So we will be, well, I won't say the location yet. I need to get a confirmation on it. But we will be having our admin retreat next week, beginning at 8:30 each day. Our convocation will be on August 4th at the high school, the middle high school. That will begin at 8:30 in the morning. We will have a keynote, and we will have some of our very own speaking, and we will have some fun things going on as well, along with some door prizes. So you want to come out and join us for that. And then on August 5th, we are planning a professional development day throughout the district, where we have many different offerings that our staff can partake in and participate as if they were going to any state level conference. They have already registered and are being put into different sessions to attend, so it should be very good. The last thing I will say is our theme for the new school year, 25-26, is boots on the ground. But we have kind of framed it, and I might say this wrong, but boots on, straightforward, excellence ahead. Might be off by a word or so, but that's where we're headed this school year. So we want all of our folks to get ready to do the boots on the ground dance. That will be our finale. I see you, Ms. Jenkins, but that will be our finale on August the 4th. And then we will have a food truck rodeo on that day. Just some really good things going on, trying to get off on a good foot and start strong, and we will end strong. That's where we're headed.
All right, next item is Andrew Jackson Restoration Project.
So as far as the Andrew Jackson Restoration Project, and Jason will jump in a minute, we did have a board retreat a couple of weeks ago, and we heard from Nicole Rhea from Performance Services. She gave us an update on the feasibility report and just some different things that they have been looking at in terms of Andrew Jackson. I believe we have to submit a letter to the town by next month in terms of what plans are. So we're at the point of looking at posting a possible RFQ, but I'd like for Jason to jump in and tell us where we go from this point.
Yes, good evening, board members. And first of all, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, Jason.
Okay, thank you. You're all a little quiet, so I apologize if I miss any questions or any comments. If I do, I'm not ignoring you on purpose. Please just, feel free to repeat questions and other things. So I've been talking with Dr. Boone about this. I was not at the retreat, and it's my understanding that there was direction from the board to proceed with the design build method for pursuing renovations at the Andrew Jackson school site, and also to move forward with drafting an RFQ. And so, in talking with Dr. Boone about that, I also her and I felt like it'd be important to bring this to the full board just to talk through it. So with design build, I mean, obviously I think you're familiar with it. I think you've heard about it, with other school construction processes or projects that you've done. It's a construction method where you have a single contractor who does the design work and then the actual construction work. It's one of several different construction options. It does have some procedural requirements that have to be met before, proceeding with it. Some of the advantages of design build, it can be quicker and faster than some of the other construction methods where you, for example, do an RFQ, go through interviews, hire an architect, that architect, develops plans, you refine those. And then at the end of that, moving forward with going through another RFQ or RFP process to identify, the actual construction manager for the project. With design build, again, it's faster because you have one vendor performing both tasks. In addition to being faster, it's really, it's in some ways, kind of designed for, I won't say simpler projects, right? But more easily defined projects. Oftentimes when we've worked with districts on a design build construction process, it's for something, for example, like HVAC replacement, right? There's a district with a high school and it knows exactly the size of the school, the types of units it needs. Everything can be very easily and quickly defined for the project. And that also helps kind of speed along the process. Some of the other advantages, the construction costs are usually like known and fixed during that design phase. So it gives you a little bit of price certainty. Some of the downsides, it can sometimes be more expensive just because you're not going through, a couple of different vendors with your architect and then your construction manager and then different bid processes for the subcomponents of whatever the work is. But I think, kind of like most pertinent to where we are with Andrew Jackson, before a school board or other government entity proceeds with design build, there is a preliminary step under the statute that the board would need to take, and that's developing criteria for determining whether design build is appropriate for the project. And those criteria typically, they're presented to the board and the board approves them via a resolution. And then, after that point, the district proceeds with the RFQ. And, where Dr. Boone and I have been having a lot of discussion, it's around the first criteria under the statute, which is the extent to which the government entity can adequately and thoroughly define the project requirements prior to the issuance of the request for qualifications for the design builder. And that's kind of, I think it's where it would help to have some more discussion. I do feel like where the district is now with Andrew Jackson, it's my understanding that the engineering firm has started, their work of assessing the site and determining what the possibilities are, but they have not completed that work. And without that, feasibility study and that assessment, completed, it could be difficult to meet the adequately and thoroughly, portion of this first criteria for selecting design build. My understanding are there could be a range of options from, restoring a decent portion of the building, to be used for events or things like that. Or it could be, that the building is largely, unsalvageable. And the proposal could be to retain a portion of it and build a memorial park around it. Right. With design build, prior to the RFQ process, I would certainly recommend kind of not only knowing what the options are, but like knowing which one you want to choose and which one you can't afford. So again, I've been working with Dr. Boone on the RFQ, but her and I were really thinking about, I understand the time constraints here, but also, wanting to make sure that this is the appropriate process and, just come back to the board for some more direction before proceeding. So, I mean, with that, are there any questions for me? Any questions for Dr. Boone? You know, as I understand it, with the engineering firm, they have again started their work. Maybe they haven't completed the work. You know, that would certainly be a document, that report that would inform, you know, what the project scope is, and also would help the board with, you know, giving direction to staff for also, you know, choosing amongst whatever the potential available options are. I did go back and look at the town of Halifax letter again, and the deadline for a response is August 24th. But that is the deadline for, you know, having the feasibility report from the engineer, you know, thinking through funding sources. And it's not necessarily the deadline for actually having, you know, started the process of doing whatever it is that the board decides to do. So I do feel like there's some time in order to, again, just make sure that this is the appropriate process, you know, meet the criteria for design build, and also just have, you know, a good detailed RFQ, which of course, you know, leads to good and better RFQ responses. The last thing I'll just mention with design build too, under the statutory process, you know, after issuing the RFQ, there's no statutory timeline for the amount of time that it needs to be out for proposals to come back in. You know, I would recommend 7, you know, at least 7 days, because that's the standard for formal bidding. But you know, I would just say that under that statutory process, there's a minimum number of 3 bids that need to be received in order to move forward with making a selection. And if a district gets less than 3 bids, then you have to rebid and do it again before you can move forward. Let's say there's only 1 bidder. And I say all that to say, you know, oftentimes the thoroughness of the RFP or RFQ can influence the bids that you get, just because, you know, some company might not bid on something that's not entirely clear as to what it is that they would be doing. So I'm sure that's a lot to digest. And again, I know I wasn't part of the meeting last week, but I did want to give that update and let you know that I'm working with Dr. Boone on it, and then just get some feedback from the board as to, you know, your thoughts on kind of using the engineering report to then determine the next steps. You know, if that's design build, we can have an RFQ ready to go at that point. And Dr. Boone,
Okay.
feel free to fill anything in there.
Oh, I was gonna ask Mr. Bennett, that day when we had our, retreat. And I know that the lady said, what's her name? Nicole, said that, for the first part, for us to respond back to the town of Halifax, they would do that.
Right,
And we wouldn't have to be under any type of
right, no contract.
contract or anything, just for them to respond back, with some data that they collected or numbers, things of that nature.
Right,
But the RFQ was for them, actually, for us to put it out there so that they could be a possibility of being the ones that are going to do the work at the school. Right?
right.
Okay.
Yeah, and that, and sorry, and that's where, you know, it's kind of, you know, the report, which as I understand it, has not been completed yet. I understand they're doing that at no cost, which is really, you know, amazing and generous. In talking with Dr. Boone, I mean, the report would certainly, in my mind, influence the contents of the RFQ, right? The scope. And having the final report with the final details, you know, would help the board with deciding, not only what's possible, but giving very clear direction as to what to, specifically do with the site. Um, really, I do have some concerns with proceeding now with a design build process where there's a range of options. We don't necessarily know exactly which options are feasible, nor do we necessarily know exactly which option, that we want to choose and proceed with. And that's my only, my main reason for recommending, that the board wait and consider that report before proceeding with a design build RFQ process.
I was just, okay, so, I guess, is that okay with the board? But to just wait and see after, the letter's presented to,
It-
Halifax, and then we could do the RFQ to see. Okay, everybody's in agreement with that?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
do I-
and just and just to clarify, so I would hope, right, so there's the getting the report to the town, and I would hope that you get it first. So it might be earlier, hopefully, than that August 24 deadline, right? So the board could certainly, let's say you get it and it's 2 weeks in advance of the deadline, and you want to meet, consider it, give direction for an RFQ process. It's really the receipt of the report by you that I think would be helpful with next steps. And that could certainly happen prior to August 24.
And August 24th is on a Sunday. I would say you want to say, this 24th is on a Sunday. So, all right.
So Jason, once we get a report, then we'll have to, get the three bids. And we decide to move forward after we get a report.
Right. So I mean, my understanding of the report is it will include details for you, the board, and the district as to what is feasible, right, and what the potential costs, be ballparks, those options are. I mean, it could be, I don't know, that the report will say that the building is salvageable, right? It'll cost $5 million, but it could be renovated. It could be turned into an event space. The report could also say that it's, the condemnation and, demolition, that's really the only feasible option, in which case the board, might have the option of preserving part of it and then building and designing, some sort of memorial, or park. But without the report, it's difficult to know exactly what the options are. And I do think that for the board, once you have the report, you can decide on what option to choose. That will influence the RFQ. And then once the RFQ is issued, that's where we would need at least 3 bids. And if there are not 3 bids, like 3 responses, you would need to reissue the RFQ. And after that second time, if you only get, let's say, 1 bid, you can proceed with that 1 bidder. But on the first try, you at least have to get 3 in order to move forward with selection.
So the main thing is right now for us is just to satisfy and meet that deadline, of getting something back to the town of Halifax by August 24th. And hopefully that'll come in about 2 more weeks from them. And then we can worry about the RFQ later, but without that letter or something to present to Halifax, we have nothing anyway. Exactly.
So
So, what we'll do, we'll come back, once we get the letter, come back, and then we'll talk about doing the RFQ, depending on what's in this, yes, the report.
So question, do we need to contact them to say that we have to get the three bids? Cause they doing the study based on hoping that we will get them to do it.
But they know that they knew that we had to put it out there. She was in there when we talked about that.
Yeah.
So she knew that we had to put it out there for someone, for other companies or other, companies to bid on.
Well, right. I mean, so the engineers who you have now, their task is to develop a feasibility report that identifies the, I'm reading it now, structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, potential environmental concerns such as asbestos and mold, as well as, work to be done on the building and site grounds, cost estimate. So really, I see the report as, as it's described, a feasibility report that you can then use to decide what you want to do. They could certainly bid on whatever that is, as long as they're not, providing guidance on the RFQ itself. But, I'm confident that they can do this engineering work for you and still be eligible. But you would, of course, have to bid it out, and we would have to follow the statutory bid process. But so there's nothing for them to be doing with regards to getting three bidders or going through any of that process. That's really, in my mind, well, sure, certainly they could be one of any other, number of bidders once you get the report and you decide what to do next.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Attorney Weber. The
Well,
next item is going to be the new pay schedule. Dr. Dillon?
Yes, I have information from the finance department. Currently, we're paid the last day of the month. And the proposal is, or rather it's proposed to be changed to the 25th of each month, beginning August 25th, rather than the end of the month.
Particular reason for that?
Think maybe closeout processes, but Ms. Kidd.
Yes, that will allow us time to, if there are any errors, anything at the end of the month, we'll have time to fix it and fix things as far as, pay, if someone's check is missing, or we have to make adjustments for our monthly reports, we have time to do it. When we pay on the 31st, that's the last day, and we can't adjust like our federal deposits, we don't have time to do anything else, and then we'll write that check on the 31st. But then everything else gonna go to the next month and count.
Yes.
That's the
Makes
job.
sense. Absolutely, gotcha.
Please.
It's like a little bit.
It does.
easier at finance world.
I'll
Absolutely.
make a motion to change to the new pay schedule.
I say it.
All right, it's been motion prompted second to change, to adopt the new pay scale, new pay schedule. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, and motion carries. Next item is my report, and I want to take a moment.
District work week.
Oh, Lord, hold on. Number 3, work week.
Yeah.
District work week, I'm sorry, I do apologize.
The proposal is, or the request is that the work week will go back to 5 days, beginning the week of August 4th, when our teachers return.
Take it.
5 days, 8 hours a day.
8 hours.
Motion to go back to the 5-day week, August 4th.
She said 8 hours. 8 hours. I'm just making it clear that it's 8 hours.
All right, 8 hours.
Yeah.
Make a motion, we turn to the, 8 hour day work week, August 4th.
It's been motion and probably second to return back to the regular schedule of 8 hours a day. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, and motion carries. Next item is I want to take a moment to sincerely thank each and every last one of you all, every employee across our district, from our teachers, principals to bus drivers, cafeteria workers, custodians, district and office staff. Your dedication and heart for our students means a lot to this district, and you are truly the heartbeat of this district. It's also my honor, although she went before me, to officially welcome Dr. Boone to her first board meeting as our superintendent. We're excited for the energy and the vision that you bring, and we look forward to the journey ahead together. I would also like to do a special thank you to all those that helped make her swearing in ceremony a success. I would call names, but I don't want to miss out on anyone, but you all helped out tremendously. You jumped in and they tell me that, you should ask people. And I'm not used to asking people for help, but when I did, it was nothing but just a question, and you all just jumped right in and did whatever you all had to do to make the program of the swearing in ceremony a success. So I do appreciate and thank each and every last one of you all for all that you all did. All right, as we prepare for a new school year, like Dr. Boone said, let's get our boots on the ground, our focus sharp, and our hearts ready. Charger Nation, this is our time to shine. Let's lead with purpose and charge ahead. Before I move on to the next item, I would like to go off the record a little bit, or off the agenda a little bit, because it's warm in here. And so I want to ask my fellow board members, is it okay? Have you all reviewed all of you all's reports for tonight? So is it okay if we forego those reports for tonight because it's warm?
Yes.
Is everybody okay with that? Okay,
Yeah,
All
I
right.
just have some questions in the consent agenda, but
okay, well, you can ask those when we get to that. So the next item on the agenda is going to be, we're gonna move to, did you have any amendments, Ms. Kidd?
No, not
All
tonight.
right, we're gonna move right along and we're gonna go on down to Mr. Hall, who will present the new school project.
Thank you, Ms. Hale.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members. Hopefully you received, a one-page document. Today, this is simply an outline of just a snapshot of the new school project. So what I'm here for tonight is to just touch on some of the highlights and certainly address any questions you might have. I broke it down into some basic things, the timeline. Hopefully, most of you have seen it already. We just go back a little ways.
I have to say that.
We don't have some.
Oh, do you mind if I continue?
I don't, please, hurry up with me. Yes,
So-
please, I'm sorry. I hear
Not yet. Timeline for the new school completion. We did have the financial issue at the beginning of the project, the financial issue being the bids initially came in above the amount of money this project has available. So we had to stop and regroup. That cost this project close to 3 months. As a result of that, currently the substantial completion date, that is the day you can actually occupy the campus, is currently at the end of August. And that's not good timing for the school year. But rest assured, I and others are advocating for Francie and Bays to do whatever they can to make up some time. I would say when we get into the first quarter of next year, we'll have a much better idea of what the summer occupancy date is gonna look like. I'll just mention the weather. The other thing beyond that time we lost at the beginning, we are in a year where we have had near record rainfall. And they have experienced all of that over at that campus, you've been by there. And that campus is relatively flat. So when it rains, it takes a lot to get the water on. So they've had some challenges, but they're working through it, I think, as best they can. Just this afternoon, I and Mr. Hunter and Dr. Boone met with Halifax County Finance. For those of you, just to make sure you're aware, Halifax County is the fiscal agent for the monies that fund this project. So we're making sure we are in lockstep in terms of records My company keeps records about the total budget, as does the architect. Clancy and Faze has their portion, but the county being the fiscal agent, we are gonna make sure that we are in lockstep with all of the numbers being the same across the entire team. I mentioned the current work is ongoing, if you've been by there. They are working diligently to get, as much of to get the building dried in, as soon as they can, so that the weather will not impact, won't be as much of an impact to the schedule. But several things I mentioned, I put in here to just point out. And again, I'm just kind of touching on the highlights. Athletic fields for the fall of 2026. Your athletic fields are going in late summer, early fall this year. This gives you a year to do the maintenance on those fields, so that come fall of 2026, they should be ready for play. Okay, that's significant. And I did note, I heard the young man that had the award earlier. There was a mention about facilities that he had at his disposal. There is a regulation track included in your on your new campus. So hopefully that will be a tremendous benefit to your students. We are working with some other owner provided items. For example, IT equipment will have to be purchased by Weldon to go into the data closets in the school. And I think in one of your recent meetings, I know you approved the furniture, fixtures, and equipment quotes. So what that allowed you to do was to lock in the prices on those items, and it's a very long list of all of the furnishings that go in. They will be ready summer of next year, but your prices are locked in. One of the a number of things that we talked to the county about today was to make sure we have all the paperwork in order, so that those purchase orders and that process is in place, so that those items show up next summer when they're needed. So again, those are just some highlights. Any questions you have for me, I'll be happy to entertain.
Any questions from anyone? If not, thank you so much, Mr. Hall.
Thank you very much.
And I haven't forgotten you, I'm gonna get you your dates.
Oh, Ms. Jenkins sent the
Oh,
board.
good,
Yeah,
good,
Ms.
good.
Jenkins sent those.
Thank you, Ms. Jenkins, thank you. And thank you so much for coming and giving us an update. Thank
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
you. Thank you.
Thanks again.
All right, the next item is going to be technology.
Good afternoon.
Good, you
You should have two documents from technology. The first document is the Technology Disaster Recovery Plan, which is basically a living document. This is something that we will review each year and make changes as needed. So the disaster plan basically, in case there is a event to happen with our network, it's all covered here, the steps of what we have to do to react and who we need to report these things to. So I ask that we adopt the Technology Disaster Recovery Plan. Each school building for school location will receive one. Also, the names that we have listed under the personnel will also receive a Word document of this disaster plan.
There any sort of training? that's
I
attached to it?
plan to talk about this next week on our retreat.
Okay.
And that's the
Technology Disaster Recovery
recovery plan, okay.
Yes.
So do we need to adopt that
Yes,
now? Okay,
and it has to be signed by you.
okay. So
I
got it in my packet. All right, so can I get a motion? Well, has everyone gone through it? Everybody is okay with it? Can I get a motion to approve the Technology Disaster Recovery Plan?
I make a motion to approve the technology disaster
Sir.
recovery plan.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, All right, it's been motion properly second to approve the technology disaster recovery plan. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, and motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, the second document that you should have is the student K-12 parent guardian notification regarding technology fees. I am coming to you to ask you to consider that we charge our students a $20 technology fee. This will help towards the cost of repairing devices. Will also go towards purchasing devices. Please keep in mind that with the tariff assessments, prices of devices will be going up. Also, for the devices that are intentionally damaged, it causes the district to have redundant spending. So we are constantly replacing devices that were purposely damaged. And also, accountability. So I've checked with other surrounding districts and they're all charging a fee between $20 and $50. And in this policy, this is outline of the incidents, first, second, and third incident, depending on the damage to the device. If the device is lost or stolen, it's indicated here as well. So the technology fee, again, I'm asking that you approve it to be $20. We would like to send out this form once the students return back to school.
Question. So where does that money go to?
It will
Like-
go into a technology account,
Okay,
and that money will be used to purchase items to repair or purchase parts to repair Chromebooks.
so is that, pot of money gonna be here, or is it per school gonna have their own?
It'll come here. The
Okay.
bookkeepers will collect the
Mhm.
fees from the parents. We're gonna start off with cash. We are researching online options that the parents can pay online as well. But to get started, we will be, or the bookkeepers will be collecting cash. And then the check will be written for a deposit into the technology account.
What about, and I'm because this has come up before in another district and it was a lot of controversy behind it. You have some families that may have 3, 4, 5 children in the district. And that family is not able to afford that $100.
Okay, well, within this, document, number 5, exemption and waivers. So that basically speaks to that. So we can, review that on a on a basis, on a family basis.
Can we just do a set fee for a family of 3 or more or something like that? I think that might be a little bit easier, than there's a set fee for that.
We can look at that.
So I think it's important to just keep in mind that currently we have nothing. Currently, we're pulling from either a fund balance or something when we have to repair our technology. So if we were to charge a fee, it would not be enough to cover
Right,
whatever, but
absolutely.
at least it would
Fees,
help to,
Offset.
cut the cost some.
yeah, would also.
So that's the only thing I ask that you consider, that currently we don't have anything. So if school starts and 50 devices are destroyed by Thanksgiving, those are 50 devices that we are responsible for, making sure that we can repair because we don't have a sustainability plan in place.
I have a question. Are the devices insured?
Yes. And this is detailed also under number 2, fee amount and associated fees. So it's outlined by the first incident of damage, we will, look at the device. If it can be repaired here, it will be repaired. If it's beyond what we can do, we'll send it off for repair, which the insurance will cover that. So if we find that the damage was purposely done, then we will ask the family to pay a fee of $28, which will cover the insurance for the repair of the device or either replacement. And third case, if the Chromebook is damaged on purpose, then we'll be looking at the parent or guardian to replace the Chromebook, and the cost of that would be $225. Now, I think it's important to put something in place because we know that the devices are going up, different districts are talking about it.
And I know that when I first started, we were on a 5-year replacement plan, or refresh plan, I'm sorry. So principals are having to order Chromebooks at the end of each school year to replace the broken ones. That's pulling money out of our budget that probably don't have to be spent then. We know that the Chromebooks are gonna have wear and tear, you know, the normal wear and tear from, but we're trying to minimize the damages that's done to the Chromebooks. And I think that having a technology fee will hold accountability to the students and also the parents or the guardians. And it will also help our district, our technology department, where we can purchase parts that we need to repair them.
And they get to take their Chromebooks home with them.
No, they don't take them home,
They don't.
no.
Um,
And this is just a start. I mean, it could be revised a little bit later down the road, you know, but this is just a start.
I think it's important that like you know, we don't have anything at all now, so we have to keep that total cost. So I think it's important to put something in place, so.
And like I said, other districts are charging anywhere between $20 and $50. And that's Halifax County, Northampton, Gates County, Nash County.
and so what happens if they don't pay? They don't get a Chromebook issued to them. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And what happens if the student has work to do on that Chromebook? What happens? So do we just, I mean, as a district, what do we do with that student?
Well, I guess they would have to receive a paper packet from their teacher.
Is that acceptable?
What now?
Is that acceptable?
Oh, yeah, I'm just asking.
No, I'm just asking.
Because, I mean, you're gonna have different type of
Yeah.
situations to come up.
Well, I personally I'm in agreement. I feel like it's reasonable.
And I reached out to other districts on our listserv, and districts have responded back. So there are a lot of districts in North Carolina that charge technology fees.
It's the only thing that I would just like to see, like I said, some cap put on, like you said, it might be, you know, a family that has 4 or 5 students and you know, just have some cap on that, but
So 3 or more students, $50, because they're paying 20. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's what,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, because we're paying 20 for the first 2, and then having a third would be a discount.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
50, or whatever you all decide, but I can agree with that. I'm in agreement of charges.
And maybe what we do moving forward is look at some type of sustainability plan. Not just for technology, but for other areas as well. Because it's just like your personal savings account. You keep taking from it and you never put anything back into it. Sooner or later, it will be depleted completely.
Have anything?
No, I mean, we have to do something. I'd rather not charge a kid, but we have to do something.
Yeah,
I prefer not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're having to order parts and knowing how monies are for us, for schools, period, I'm okay with putting minimal cost, please.
And I'm just thinking about the big picture with everything. And I'm not saying I'm opposed to this either, because like you said, it'll be some help or some type of replenishment back to what you're pulling from to get repairs done. I'm not saying, but I'm just thinking about the cost and in our community.
Well, we won't
How about
know until we
10?
Try,
Mhm.
you know,
How about $10?
well, it's not for me to say.
So, like I said, I'm not gonna charge the kids, but we have to do something, but they're not taking them home.
Mhm.
So chances of them turning them up is gonna be, them being supervised during the day. Hopefully they don't, but some stuff happens.
Well,
You gotta deal with them, but.
and they're not keeping up with them, and you'll be surprised. Everywhere, exactly.
That's why hopefully the field make them keep,
Just to make them more responsible
keep up with
for
it.
it. If they know they have to pay a fee.
I'm not saying not to
Have to.
charge.
No, no, no,
I'm
no,
talking
I'm
about
just
the
saying,
amount.
I'm looking at it on both sides, I know
Mhm.
what you're saying,
Mm.
I agree with not charging them, so we have to do something like Mr. Bennett said. But since they're not taking them home, if they're there in the classroom, and if they do something there to them, they know that if you mess up this, you're gonna have to pay $20, your mom gonna have to pay $20.
They're gonna have to pay $20 to get it
Yeah.
before they even get it.
Well, you have to pay more.
Oh, yeah, you gotta pay more,
Yeah.
but after it's messed up, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, so I think they would be more responsible.
Yeah.
I really believe they would be more responsible.
With that price tag on.
Yeah, I know I would.
And I hear you say $10, but you can't even get 2 sodas in the bag of potatoes.
No, you can.
Real talk.
That's-
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, I like the idea of doing that, and so let's take it one step further. So if we do run to a situation where we have a excess of funds, but we don't utilize those funds throughout the school year, can we look at some type of rebate or credit program for the future to help offset those costs? So they don't, if we don't use those funds and we have the funds available, students don't have to pay as much.
It can be a consideration. Yes. But again. we don't have much in the day.
I got you, right, exactly, yeah. Chances of that are probably slim to none,
Yes.
but just in case,
Mhm.
yeah.
So I'll make a motion to read
Thank
that.
Second.
Okay, it's been motion probably second, to go along with the, technology fees. Are there any questions?
Yes. Well, not a question, but I need to add a small piece in there that we make sure that we do something for, if it's like, we said a certain number, like 3 or more kids.
Okay, okay.
Just to, so how do we insert that?
All right, so I'll make a motion that we adopt the $20 fee with a proper correction.
Correction
For 3 or
means,
more kids.
So board members, I mean, I would just say if you're creating, exceptions to the fees, you do have a policy on point which allows for exceptions in the event of economic hardship. So, I mean, instead of defining what that is or what one example might be, such as having, 5 kids or 6 kids in the form itself, you can just rely on your policy. And then under the policy, it kind of delegates to principals and the superintendent for, helping to develop procedures for those kinds of fee requests. Because I do think, I mean, to the point of that example, having 5 students might push it up into an economic hardship type of situation. But instead of like listing out all of the, potential fact patterns that could fit the exception, you could just rely on what your policy says now.
So we need to,
do we need to
Policy.
rescind?
policy need to be, huh?
You said we have
See, we already had a
a
policy, Jason?
You said we had a policy?
Well,
You do. You have a policy 4600 student fees.
What do we need to do in relation to that motion then?
Well, so the motion is to approve the form. I think someone was starting to make a motion to amend, but did not finish because I interrupted them. So whoever was making it could just rescind the motion to amend.
I rescind the motion.
And then my only other suggestion here would be just to delegate authority to the superintendent working with me just to work through some of the wording in here. Like it's described as a usage fee, and under statute, you know, rental fees are prohibited, but damage fees are allowed. So I think in a lot of districts, even though there's this $20 flat fee, that's really designed to cover that first incident of damage at no cost. So I don't think the board needs to do anything here other than, your role under the statute and your policy is to approve the fee itself. But I do want to make sure there's wiggle room for staff to work with me on the actual wording of the form.
So do you need to we need to make another motion?
No, I don't think so, because your motion was to approve the fee, and that's, the fee. And then I just want to make sure it's with the understanding that, I might make some suggestions to your staff on some of the wording that's within the particular form here. So I don't think you need to do anything different. I just want you to know I'll be working with staff on making some of those modifications.
All right, so it was motion and properly second. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is we're going to we're gonna go to our consent agenda. And I know that you had some questions. Well, I said, you all had said that we were gonna.
Okay, I'm good with that. When I said central office update, I didn't know if it was something we really needed. I'm good.
With the building. The building. The rooms back there in the back.
That's what I thought.
You want it?
I don't,
We do have to go back because I did have a board member to ask a question, that has a question for exceptional children. So we'll back up to that. Miss Exceptional Children.
Good evening.
Good evening. There's a question in regards.
So, Ms. Fuller, I just wanted to ask, I see that pre-K as up to July the 14th, only have 13 students approved.
Well, we have to turn our board packets in early, so as of
Okay.
today, we have 17
17.
approved, and we have 8 applications waiting to be approved over with Smart Start.
Okay, that was my question because I saw that and I was thinking that's only one classroom, according to this. But you said
Moving on up.
we have 17 approved
Yes, ma'am.
and we've got 8 on the waiting.
We have 8 at Smart Start being approved.
Oh, okay, all right. Thank you, ma'am. And I was thinking just one classroom.
When will we know about the approval for those 8?
Monday, probably it's about 3 days. We also have people coming in already calling saying that they're ready. We got other applications coming in too. We're gonna be ready when the school starts. We're gonna have 2 classrooms. Already started to separate the classroom. We're getting that right now.
So those 8 on Monday should give us 25.
Yes.
Okay.
so one question about the back, where it says students, is that the top one? Is that the total number of students we have in the district? On this,
Yes, 544, yes. As of July 14th, then.
okay,
Everything was done July 14th, gotcha.
Keep in mind with the 8 children, they go through a process, so they're looking at those applications for approval. We did inspect the application, so we're very positive that they will be, but, they got their own criteria that we're feeling very hopeful that all 8 will be approved.
Hopefully, yes. And I know it takes parents a while to do the application. And you have to stay on. Okay, that was
Ms.
all.
Greer about to remember, they taking the seniors out. they haven't put in the new update, as opposed to this schedule.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bullock. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
Thank you.
All right. Now we'll get an update, Nick Central Office update.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Be the first one to apologize. I mean, after this, in this room, this is a tough room at this time today, but, we'll get that checked out. So with the CO, expansion, all the construction has been completed. What we're waiting on now is the building inspector. Just left not too long, that's why I was there. Y'all first got started. He's approved everything except for we need a power floor station. So that's something that he told us at the last minute that we need to make sure that we install. So we reached out to Security Connection so that we can get a date for that to be installed. And then he'll be able to, call the OC program. Then we'll be able to occupy the space. So that's where we are with that. Anything else specific?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, the next item on our agenda is our consent agenda. And, I'm gonna ask that, we pull, H out. And vote on it separately. Because we'll talk about it separately. But, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda A through G?
Questions?
Questions.
So my question is, I saw that some of the contracts that we have don't have dollar amounts on them.
Okay, that's Miss Bullock. Or, is it Miss Bullock? No. Which one?
Probably because it's OT, I think it was OTPT again.
Okay, Miss Bullock. And then what, okay. Ms. Bullock, there's a question in regards to the two contracts, for speech therapy and physical therapy. There is no money, monetary amount attached to those contracts.
So those are just two addendums. What happened was when we had our, beginning of the year meeting last week, the providers realized they had not put an administrative cost in per hour, which is what that addendum is. You approved the contracts already. This is just an addendum to those contracts. So,
But these are the amendments. I'd put blanks in for whatever the hourly rate is, for whatever the, administrative services would be. And then also blanks for whatever, with including that amount, it would obviously increase the not to exceed amount in the contract. But it looks like the versions in Assembly still have those,
Blank. But mine is
right,
not
with
taken-
the highlighted language.
correct.
Is that what you're looking at here? Because I looked in assembly.
Oh, no, I'm looking on paper.
Okay,
Your packet.
so I have to look at those. I was just looking at what we had online, because there was a couple of them that didn't have dollar amounts on.
Yeah,
Any
it's
other
just those
questions?
two. So those would need the hourly rate filled in. Right,
Any
because
other-
those providers are providing services and then the hourly rate could be the same, it could be different. But whatever that is, it'll increase the not to exceed amount that the board already approved. So unless there's a completed version in paper, at least the ones in Assembly still have those blanks in them.
Okay. Are there any other questions? If not, can I get a motion to approve, consent agenda A through, G?
Well, so are there versions with those numbers filled in?
Yes,
Yes,
we
they
have them
have
on
to-
paper. We have them.
Okay,
we have-
all right, I didn't hear that. Thank you.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda A through G.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been, motion and seconded, to approve a consent agenda A through G. Are there any questions?
Yes, I don't see them yet.
So what, all 66 cents?
Yes.
What are you looking on? Cause I don't see that.
Paper, it
It's right here.
says, First Amendment. to
Oh, they're
tax,
individual
Physical
ones.
therapy service.
Mhm.
Page 1, 2. Second one, speech therapy.
Okay. Okay, that's just not what I had looked at, so.
All those in favor say aye.
Uh,
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Next item is gonna be H in the school names, and, we have two, sorry.
So my request is that we take a look at the names of Weldon Global Academy and Weldon STEM High School Career Academies. I know we've had the names in place for a while, and we are very hopeful that at some point Weldon Global will be Weldon Global, a true global. But I would like for us to consider changing the name to Weldon Elementary School. That does not mean that we will not pick the global back up at some point, but it just means we're not exactly doing global activities at this moment. So I think it would be more feasible for the name of the school to become Weldon Elementary School. I feel the same way about Weldon STEM High School Career Academies. We don't really have a focus on STEM at this particular point. So I'd like to propose that we change the name back to Weldon High School. Again, that does not mean that we will not get there and that I won't come back before you at a later date to change something again. But I just think at this particular point, we should not put something out there that we're not doing right now.
Can I get a motion to,
Question.
Yes.
I know that was something we had talked about that needed to, that we needed to talk with, are you gonna say, you were going to say the same thing I'm saying? Okay. About, is that something that we need to make contact with DPI to see what the numbers and all of that?
So I've already done.
Okay, so that has been done. Okay,
I spoke with Shannon Miller and all we need is approval from the local district level.
okay.
And then Ms. Akila Robinson can go into Eddie and change the names.
Okay,
can I,
I make a motion.
And this is
And
that
so,
email.
so board members, the only thing I would add, so it sounds like on the DPI side, the change is simple. You do have a board policy 9300 naming facilities that references involvement of staff and students assigned to the facility in the process of identifying possible names. I don't know, if that was the standard process that the board followed, coming up with the names that you have now, but I did just want to point that out. I don't know if that's happened right through surveys or, other methods of gathering community feedback, but that's, and then the policy also provides some criteria to follow, none of which would be implicated here, but it does have a little bit of detail in there.
when we changed it last time, I know when we changed that was when we started with the Spanish Emerging Program, and that's when we changed to Weldon Elementary Global Academy. Weldon STEM High School Career Academies. I really don't remember when it was changed. But anyway, if you all are in favor of changing these names back, we can do that tonight.
I just think the name should truly represent, what we're doing, who we are. Other than that, it's false advertising.
Right.
Yes.
So is there a motion to change the two schools' names back to their original names?
I make a motion. Make a motion to change the two schools back, Weldon Global Academy, Weldon Elementary Global Academy, and Weldon STEM High School back to Weldon High School and Weldon Elementary.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, it's been motion properly second to change those two schools back to their original names. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Next item is going to be okay. Discussion, and we have assembly.
So my question, is if we're not if we've decided to use paper, and all of us are not using Assembly with Fidelity, do we need to keep paying for it? Do we need to just do away with Assembly? Or are we at a point that we can't do that as far as paying?
I think that some of us assembly is beneficial because we're able to go online and just look up stuff electronically, and also it's saved, the documents are saved there for records, so you can go back at any given time and pull that information up. So I believe that it serves the district some good. That's my personal opinion.
No, I agree with that. Definitely.
Cause I was able to go back just this year to research. I was looking for something and I went back to a meeting and I knew something had happened and I knew around the time frame, but I was able to go back online and pull that meeting up. And also the fact that we are streaming meetings as well, that's beneficial also, because I was able to go back and hear everything that was said at that meeting.
Good stuff.
Any other questions?
I think it's good. We need to look at ways we can save, but that's needed.
It's archive, archives everything. Any other question? Next item. Bus camera system. So I was hoping Mr. Hunter, I'm not sure if he's out in the lobby or not, that he were still here. But in talking with Mr. Hunter, and even just a few months ago, there was an incident on a bus, and when I asked about a bus camera, that's when I found out we do not have cameras on our buses. So that is a little alarming to me, just a little, because it becomes a safety issue. And your bus cameras can very well give you the evidence that you need to validate something. So I would like for the board to take a look at or consider possibly purchasing, if we have funding available, possibly purchasing camera system for our buses, because I do believe we need it.
Yeah, quotes already.
And Mr. Hunter has a few quotes. Yeah, I have a few and I'll pass them on.
And the quotes was for 13 buses. We have 13 young buses. And I also included 17 for the activity buses. So you'll see the quotes and prices of.
Oh, good. Okay. So, Dr. Boone. What did we come back to the same? What was back to the same? Okay. So, I'm gonna ask Dr. Boone if she would share this information with all the board members, because we're passing it around now. But just for us to kind of look at it more in detail and give us a little bit more time. And we can add to our agenda for our next meeting to decide on.
And are those quotes? What are the dollar amounts?
And I don't have it, Ms. Harrison has it.
These are what I'm looking, unless I'm mistaken, I'm looking at dollar amounts and quotes for radios, not cameras.
No, he would have counted on it.
It's
It's passed around.
Which were?
It's being passed around.
Oh, okay, so I didn't get, okay. I see that.
Yeah. And I'm happy to work with staff on thinking through bidding issues too, like if it's 90,000 or higher and what types of process needs to follow.
No, we didn't have Jason. Not that high, Jason.
That is-
Uh,
of this.
All right, so we're gonna table that until our next meeting, give everybody a chance to look at it, Mr. Hunter. All right,
Oh, I got something.
Okay.
So we'll be in school.
excuse me?
We'll be in school by the time.
Yes, yes,
And this is just one quote, right?
One for 13.
that's three.
But it's the same company.
Same,
We need to get,
So did you get?
We need three different
we need to have
companies.
3 different quotes.
Yeah.
Different companies.
I had the other, but I just didn't, I didn't give that to Dr. Bo, but I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, she just email them to us. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, the next item on the agenda is board vacancy. And, we do still have a vacant seat and we have had people to apply for the vacant seat. But they have not yet been interviewed due to, scheduling. So at this time, it's on the agenda again tonight so that we can get a schedule put into place so that we can get these interviews.
Okay, so we need to schedule interviews. Well, how many candidates is it?
5, 4. That was 5. It is 5, it was 6.
That was 6.
It was
5, but Ms. Brooks pulled out. And she was out for.
It's still, hold on.
Is it 4? It's 4. So it was 5.
It was
Okay.
5.
So it's 4. I did too. Okay. So we're here now to look at some dates on our calendars.
Okay. I said I didn't bring mine with me. but
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll just work around it.
Well, this here with me, August and September are 2 busy months for me. With my side job and other things. But don't let that stop you. I just
What happened, stop?
just don't want to have to do it. I'm not prepared to do it.
When are we supposed to do it during a work session or a regular board meeting? What are we supposed?
We can, but it's gonna take some time, so there's nothing else gonna be able to. We can't do anything else.
That'll be the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah, that will be the work session, okay. Work sessions are what, second Tuesdays?
well, actually, we don't have one scheduled because, and we talked about that at our retreat. Nothing's scheduled right now for a work
Okay.
session.
Schedule a work session. Date,
What now?
we got to schedule a work session.
Right. Normally they were second Thursday.
Hmm.
But
I got you.
Can we table that?
It's just whatever the pleasure of the board is.
Okay, so we need to schedule a work session.
We can schedule a date.
I think we need to set a date when we're going to do it because
we asked these people and they did what they asked, they sent the letter. And, it's almost been a year now, and I think we need to, honor what we asked the people, they sent the letters. And I really think that we need to go ahead on and set something else to interview or whatever. I think we need to take time to do it after we ask people to do it. And be unfortunate. I don't think.
What was the deadline? What was the deadline? So how long?
We did that in what, January, February, March, something like that. It was March, yeah.
Jason, you remember the date? Was it March something? Deadline
something.
for applications or for submission of the letter?
My recollection, it was several months. There was one deadline and the board extended it for the applications. And right now the board's in the process of scheduling the interviews.
You remember what it was, Michelle? That's what I was trying to look back in my notes.
Yeah.
Well, did you all want to do it during the week time, or do you want to do it on the weekend, on Saturday?
Oh. Oh.
Sorry.
Stop playing.
Yeah, you play too much, Tiffany. Oh, Miss Hill, you play too much. So is August out of the question right now? We're into September already.
It's just one, it's just me, August, I just can't.
Well, I mean, that's
I'll
important.
be gone too.
Yeah, I just can't.
Yeah, that's okay. So,
How many of us got to be there?
Well, 3, 4.
We got a forum.
Yeah, but I mean.
I would think everybody.
Everybody, yeah, because it's gonna
I think
be.
that's
what this
with a
is-
decision like this.
Exactly.
yeah, I think all,
Exactly. Then you fill in the seat, there's somebody, yeah,
so,
and that's why it's taking this long.
right.
There's
So
a
we're-
school and graduation.
Yes.
What ceremony?
Yeah, and hiring a superintendent and, you know, we've been dealing with a lot.
Little stuff like that.
Yeah, little stuff,
Like,
yeah.
little
we-
stuff
we
like
can-
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm just waiting on for some dates, for somebody to throw out some
All right.
dates. Ms. Bird Robinson don't have her calendar, so, and
All right, so we're into September. Second tonight.
Is that something we can do when we come back out for the closed session?
yeah, we can do that, cause I'm.
Because our calendar is in the back.
Yeah, okay, your calendar back there. Okay, so we'll come back, we'll do this when we come back into open session. For the sake of time. Okay,
Okay.
cause her calendar's back there,
Oh, okay.
and so I just want to, instead of sitting right here, you know, pulling our thumbs.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so the next item is we're going to return back to closed session. Can I get a motion to return back?
Make a motion
Hold on.
to,
You wanna say something? Attorney Welcome?
I was trying to follow that. So is the decision to table the board vacancy interview scheduling until after closed?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Bird Robinson. Are you making the motion?
I will make a motion to return to closed sessions.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
There's been motion and properly second to return back to closed session. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, and we are now going back to closed session. Thank you so much. We'll be back shortly.
So you all
would
will
like to
hang
stick
around.
around?
I'll hang around till we get back.
Yeah, oh my God.
So, having a great time, entertainment is good.
Thank you.